friends. I want to talk today about how to get through dry periods. Everyone goes through this. A period where you feel distracted from your sadhana. Maybe your family obligations are weighing you down, so your heart is more dry. You don't feel as much devotion. You don't feel like you're making progress. You don't feel joy. Maybe whatever was happening, if you were hearing Om or seeing light or feeling energy in the spine, that's not happening. You feel spiritually non-magnetic. And this isn't something that happens. There are wonderful times in one's spiritual life, and there are times when it's more even, and there's times when you're struggling. It's just what happens. And I remember a time when I was going along just fine in the early years when I began on this path. And suddenly I was just pulled off. And I was pulled from Ananda to go back to my home life in Los Angeles, where it was more comfortable. There were people I knew well. Everything was familiar. I thought I could just go and just meditate on my own and I'll be fine. And that period for me was very dry. I didn't have the satsang. I didn't have any guru bhais around. I didn't have the kirtans I was used to, the group meditations, the Kriya Yoga initiations, the beautiful surroundings, and the high energy people. They just weren't there. And I was staying at my home again, and there everything was okay. If you want to watch TV for hours, that's fine. If you want to talk on the phone forever, that's fine. It was just a low energy. And what happened was, I was at this high point, and suddenly I just went down. The energy, the environment just pulled me right down. And so what happened? I was dry spiritually. Why meditate? Why meditate so long? What about chanting? Why do you need it? You know, and on and on and on. And that's what happens to people. You go through a period where you're not spiritually alive and magnetic and uplifted and happy. And those periods come and go. And how do you get out of them? I remember a time for me was someone had passed away, that's what it was, and that was a very low, dry and low period for me. The only thing that pulled me out of that heavy consciousness was chanting God's name. And I chanted for weeks. I mean, I couldn't work my way through it, talk my way through it. I just had to chant and feel God's presence coming to me. So in dry periods, you may want to chant. If you can't chant, pray. If you can't pray, meditate. Do healing prayers. Read some of the books. Open Master's autobiography. Read whatever's on that page. It's never going to be, at least in all the lives I've seen, just a straight shot from where you're at now to God. There are going to be wonderful times. There are going to be times that aren't so wonderful, that are more dry. But use the tools that you can on the path that will help you to regain your devotion. The spiritual path, in a way, you know, it's like putting money into a bank. It's like a bank account. And if you never put anything in the bank account, you'll never have any money. So your spiritual bank is years of however long you've been on the path of meditation, of sadhana, of chanting, of satsang, of going to Kriya, of reading the books, of all these things. It's like putting that in a bank. Then when a dry period comes, you can withdraw from that bank. You have something, meaning you have a foundation, a base to stand upon, because those periods will come. And when they come, you feel shaken, but you will have something to stand on if you now continue to do the best that you can to keep that energy going. And as you do that, you will find that inside yourself, there's something that could never be shaken. Master said you'll be able to stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. Anything that happens, you will still have that seed of devotion. I remember living with Swami Kriyanandaji and how this was in Europe, in Italy. And every night, Swamiji, we shared a wall. I was in an apartment on one side, he was on the other, and that was his meditation room, was right behind where I slept. Every night I heard him chanting, praying to Divine Mother, weeping many times, just in devotion. He was adding that devotion to his spiritual life, so that at times that were hard or dry, he had that to pull from. So when we're talking about overcoming spiritually dry times, you have to have something that you put in, that you can draw from at those times, and you will find that that will keep you strong in your spiritual life. God bless you.